We have tea. We have a fairy. We have paint. We have journals. And of course, we have stitching. Welcome to Helen Kitty Cat Crafts. Hello, my friends. How are you? I hope you've had a great week. So, here we are on DIY My Chateau Part 7. Yes, Part 7. I never thought I'd get this far. So today I'm going to be adding some clay, and it is good messy play. I love getting my hands stuck in. Now I have got some gloves on because the clay does irritate my skin if I've got my hands in it for too long. But I'm not going to let that stop me. That's what gloves are for. So this is the end panel of the extension that I made onto the roof, which I've decided I'm going to make into a nursery cum playroom. So I think that's quite good. If I lived in a big house like that and I had lots of room, my kids would be on the top floor as well. Joking. Or am I? And this now is the front. Now, because I've made it out of foam board, the extension out of foam board, rather than add hinges and slots and things, I still want to be able to take the front off so that I can decorate the inside and of course show you all inside. So I've decided that it's just going to be a simple lift in and out, so you could either slide it to the left or you can lift it off front ways. So it's just easier that way for me to make it that way. So I'm going to plaster the front with the clay to continue the theme from the rest of the house so that it all looks as one. It all looks as though it's going to be part of the same building. I'm thinking maybe a light stone colour for the actual base coat, and then I've actually started buying some acrylic paints for models. What people use for railways, model railways, and role-playing games and tabletop war games. And so there is a lot bigger variation in colour. I know they're quite expensive because the small bottles are sort of 15 mils, and they're about, they can go anywhere from sort of £4 or £5 up to £17 or £18. So they do work out expensive, but you only need such a small amount, and because they're quite pigmented, because that's what they're designed to be used for, you only need a tiny amount. So I'm thinking maybe a pale stone colour for the base coat, and then overcoat that. You know me, I like my layers, with lots of different layers of greys and browns to create a sort of a stone granite stone effect, which I think will look lovely. But I want to get all the exterior finished before I start painting. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, which is why I've not started any of the interior, because once I've finished the exterior, I can get that painted up, and then I can paint the windows, window frames, and then I can put acetate in the windows so that they've got look like they've got proper glass. Because I need to do all that before I can even think about starting on the interior. Although I've got lots of ideas running through my head. So that's where they're going to stay for the time being. In my head. I jot things down in my journal, and it's strange because I'm doing something else and then I think, oh, I must remember to research that. So I'll jot it down in my jotter, and then I'll go back to it and research it at a later stage. So that's the way I'm working at the moment. So I went off on a huge tangent the other day and decided to research model railways and how they were put together and how they were made and the buildings and the scenery, and it's actually really fascinating. I already follow a lot of diorama makers because it's always interested me anyway. And to be fair, one day I would actually like to have a go at making a proper diorama scene. So maybe, like a few houses and grass and river, and I'm thinking kind of wind in the willowsy type thing, not actually decorating the interiors, just basically the exteriors and the scene. But that's an idea that I'm playing with long term. I need to do some more work on this house first, don't I? Or chateau, which still hasn't got a name because I'm still deciding. It'll tell me what it wants to be called eventually. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music so that you can see what I'm finishing off. So until next time, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Goodbye now.